Legendary gang. What's up, y'all, man? It's Legendary. Back another reaction, man. No cap. We got final photos with unnerving backstories. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I can pronounce. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me. Man, honestly, bro, this world is getting really, really strange. That's why I'm an inside homebody. I don't talk to a lot of people. Just based off just people just weird, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. And for my safety, too. Because I don't know people's true intentions, if that makes sense. No cap. Like Scott come roll to K, man. This is definitely disturbing, bro. Like any final, like anything, I swear, just give me chills, bro.
Visit his grandmother.
Let's get into it, man.
In Waianae, Hawaii. Once there, he mentioned to his grandma he was planning on going hiking in Mauna Lua Valley Park in the morning. According to Martha, Dalen mentioned he was going to climb the Haiku Stairs, also known to the locals as the Stairway to Heaven, consisting of over 3,900 steps that ascend the Kohulahu mountain range. The Stairway to Heaven was once a popular tourist hotspot until it was officially closed to the public in 1980 due to the dangerous conditions.
1980, bro. He just said, bro, if you anything, if you would have documented, then I would understand. But you just try doing that, that's crazy.
Climb. Still, many daring hikers over the decades continue to climb the legendary staircase for the thrill of the challenge.
Yeah, this
is not uncommon for the police
I wouldn't do that, bro.
Department to have to rescue and arrest lost hikers who realized they bit off more than they could chew once they were at the top of the staircase. When Dalen told his grandmother about his plans, she warned him that it was illegal and tried to stop him, but he was determined to climb the Stairway to Heaven and didn't listen to his grandma. On the evening before the climb, he posted to Facebook with the caption, "Stairway to Heaven, hiking this insane hike tomorrow, wish me luck." His friends quickly jumped into the comments to remind him that a recent mudslide had damaged an entire section of the staircase, making it even more dangerous to attempt the hike.
Legal horse of warrior can't make him drink, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. You can show concern, bro, but you just like, if the bro don't want to listen, then sadly, bro, you reap those consequences, you know what I'm saying?
The very next morning, Dalen took a bus to Mauna Lua Valley Park and began the hike, documenting the start of his journey on Facebook with the caption, "And the hike begins, #haiku."
This is disturbing.
At the beginning of the hike, he sent some pictures of the mountain range to his friends. At around 11 a.m. that day, he sent this last image, after which he became unreachable on all communication channels. His friends tried to get in touch with him, but it soon became clear that something had gone wrong during the hike. The next day, Dalen was reported missing, leading to a citywide search involving the Honolulu Police Department, the Fire Department, the U.S. Navy, several drone pilots, and local volunteers. From the moment the search began, the authorities suspected he had successfully climbed the Stairway to Heaven, but was unable to come down safely due to the treacherous conditions.
Oh, Lord.
On the first day of the search, it rained heavily over Honolulu, making the climb to the top almost impossible for the authorities.
No care.
After 4 days of looking for Dalen with dogs, helicopters, and infrared cameras, the search was called off. But later that very same day, 2 hikers who were climbing a nearby ridge claimed they heard someone screaming for help, and the fire department decided to extend the search another day. But on Tuesday, March 3rd, after days of fruitless investigation, the search was permanently suspended. Still, Dalen's friends and family continued to search the area, posting his pictures everywhere online, and even starting a GoFundMe campaign that raised over $15,000. After weeks with no convincing clues or even a trace of what happened to Dalen, several theories started circulating on the island. While many people claimed he probably fell down the side of the mountain on his way up, others speculated that something much more sinister had happened to Dalen while climbing the Stairway to Heaven.
Somebody was waiting on burn him, I don't know.
In the last image he sent to his friends, you can see the head of a man popping up behind the bushes next to the stair.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that angle, count, bro. What? I ain't even gonna hold you. This is definitely a sinister act, probably. I'm not gonna count. I didn't even
While the
see that.
skeptics alleged that the figure was probably just a bunch of leaves and branches and
That's a human head.
The Honolulu Police Department decided there was enough evidence in the image to issue an alert and request anyone from the public who had information on the mysterious man behind the bushes to come forward. It now appeared as if Dalen's disappearance had turned into a criminal investigation, with many people believing that the man in the bushes was a stalker who had seen the teenage hiker's Facebook posts and followed him up the mountain to attack him.
That's what I was thinking too, I ain't gonna care.
Some
That's why you don't post your moves, bro. Like, damn, stop posting everything y'all doing.
We recognized the guy, with one user mentioning that the guy in the picture was a good friend of his and that he had nothing to do with the disappearance. But when asked how he could recognize his friend in the image if the man's face was barely even visible, he didn't answer, and nobody's statements on the matter have been verified as true.
Oh, that was definitely the nigga that was... Bro, the person that said that was definitely the person that was stalking him, bro.
Guaranteed. The case of Dalen Pua remains a mystery. In 2021, the Honolulu City Council voted unanimously to remove the stairs, awarding a $2.5 million demolition contract to Nakoa Companies.
No cap. Good
The
move.
decision
Smart
was
move.
pretty controversial, but in the end, it was decided that it was the best choice. Unfortunately, we'll still probably never know what happened to Dalen Pua on that day in February 2015, and whether or not the man in his last photo had anything to do with it.
Damn.
Lose the scent of the person they're trying to track. Luckily, this video's sponsor, Scentbird, gives you a way to stand out.
Bro, there's no way you just use the whole searching for another person for your scent brand, bro. Or your sponsor. What? I feel like it's kind of disrespectful. What y'all think, bro? I'm not gonna cap, bro. Like, he could have did another. I ain't gonna lie, it is what it is. Get your bread, but like,
He's in the U.S.
that's crazy.
On December 10th, 2003,
It's like
Ken and
Texas.
Trisha Whitaker went out to dinner at Papadu Seafood Kitchen to celebrate their son Thomas's graduation from Sam Houston State University.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I knew this was Houston or something, bro. I know them homes type.
Night, Thomas, or Bart as his friends and family called him, got a $4,000 Rolex watch as a gift from his parents.
Oh, band's crazy.
Over dinner, the family laughed, talked, and teased each other like the happy family they appeared to be on the surface. At one point during the meal, Ken asked his wife and sons to get together for a picture. The image shows Trisha and her two sons, Kevin and Thomas, smiling for the camera, and at first glance, everything seems pretty much perfect. Just after 8 p.m., the Whitaker family left the restaurant and headed back home. As they walked up the steps to their house, Bart stayed back to get something from his car, and his dad waited for him. As soon as Kevin opened the door, a man in a ski mask held up a gun and opened fire on the family. Within a few seconds, Kevin, Trisha, Kent, and Bart were lying on the floor with gunshot wounds.
Bro,
As soon
bro,
as the
shot the
shots rang
whole.
out, a neighbor called 911, and even though he was injured, Bart did the same as the attacker ran out the back door. When the responding officers arrived, they found
Somebody pissed
19-year-old
about that
Kevin
Rolex.
Whitaker dead
Hating
on the
ass
floor.
people.
Trisha was immediately airlifted to the hospital, but sadly didn't survive.
Damn.
Miraculously, Kent survived a gunshot wound to the chest, while Bart got away with a single bullet wound to the arm.
Ooh.
Initially, the authorities called the crime a burglary gone wrong. Suspiciously, the alleged burglar left behind the gun he used to commit the crime, but the palm print on the gun didn't yield any useful information. As it was later revealed, the gun had been taken from the Whitaker family's upstairs gun safe, which made it clear that whoever
that means they knew him. You know what I'm saying? That means they knew who that they was giving that Rolex out, bro. And he was mad and got jealous. Man, jealousy is just way.
committed the gruesome crime knew the layout of the house before entering. The detectives on the case soon realized that this was no ordinary burglary, as no valuables had been stolen, and the family's drawers and
That's a hate
closets seemed
crime.
to have been neatly pulled out by someone who had been a little too careful not to destroy anything. The day after the murders, detectives discovered that Bart was hiding something from his parents. Not only had he not graduated from university, but he was actually a freshman on probation for not attending his classes and had a 1.4 GPA. About a week after the horrifying incident, Kent and Bart went to Kevin and Trisha's funeral, which was attended by over 1,000
Cold-blooded, bro. That's just so cold-blooded. You know you killed the person and you gonna go to their funeral, bro. That is so cold-blooded.
Sugarland residents who had never even heard of such a brutal crime being committed in their city. Several law enforcement officers were at the funeral, not so much to mourn the victims, but rather to watch Bart Whitaker closely. The night before the funeral, a former roommate of Bart named Adam Hipp had gone to the police station and made a shocking revelation. According to the police report,
snitched.
Adam mentioned to the cops that one day in 2000,
Oh,
Bart
he
had
snitched.
approached him and told about an elaborate plan to murder his
Oh,
family
he
in order
snitched.
to inherit their house
Oh,
and about
Lord.
$1 million in life insurance money. Adam claimed
That
that Bart
nigga
had
killed
given
him for some.
and about $1 million in life insurance money.
That's some messed up shit.
Adam claimed
That's
that
messed
Bart had
up.
even offered him a cut of the inheritance money if he agreed to kill his family framed through a burglary gone wrong and shoot him in the arm in the process to make it look more believable. The more details Adam revealed about the chilling conversation, the more the cops realized that the plan Bart had talked about with his roommate was eerily similar to the events that took place on that fateful night in December 2003. During Adam's
Smiling, knowing what he
interrogation, the
finna
name of
do.
two
That's
more of Bart's
crazy.
college friends were brought up, Chris Brashear and Stephen Champagne. Chris and Stephen worked at the same country club as Bart, and when the cops tested their DNA and sent samples, they found a perfect match for what was found at the crime scene. Bart realized he was in trouble. One
No
night,
shit,
about
bro.
7 months after the murders, he told his father he was going out to the club, and he never came back. The authorities looked everywhere for him, but it seemed
Oh,
he
that
just
man
disappeared
took off.
without a trace. With Bart nowhere to be found, the cops focused their efforts on Chris and Steven. Eventually, Steven cracked under the pressure of the interrogation and admitted that he had been the getaway driver on the night of the crime. Chris
I'm saying, bro, them people that swear they tough, bro, when they do a vicious crime like that, they fold in that jam and he a squealer, bro. Like, no cap, bro. Like, you can't. Some of them people gonna fold, bro. When you commit a crime like that, bro, you just wasn't thinking. Like, that's not who you are. So that's sad.
Bart had orchestrated the entire thing.
That's sad.
Steven even led the police to a bag that had been thrown off.
And God always watching you, bro. So God didn't see you do all this stuff, so you're not gonna get away with it regardless.
Bridge into Conroe Lake, which contained pretty damning physical evidence, including two-way radios, water bottles, and ammunition that matched the shell casings at the scene. Almost 2 years after the murder, Steven and Chris were arrested, but Bart was still nowhere to be found. Unbeknownst to the police, Bart had started a completely new life in Mexico.
This man, I ain't even gonna lie, that's smart. That man done got him a passport and done got out of there.
He had a small apartment, a job in a furniture store,
but you gonna get caught.
And a girlfriend. Disturbingly, it was later revealed that Bart had lied to his girlfriend's family and spun a very convincing tale about his past, alleging that he had gotten shot in the shoulder while serving in Afghanistan. A year and a half after the murders, a man named Rudy Rios called the cops and confessed that about a year earlier, Bart paid him $3,000 to let him assume Rios' identity and flee to Mexico. In September 2005, Bart was arrested in Mexico, extradited, and charged with the murder of his mother and brother. As it was later discovered, he had tried to carry out the plan on several occasions with other roommates and friends, but something always seemed to get in the way. In an interview with ABC News, Bart claimed that when he was planning the killings, he was operating on autopilot and about as close to numb as a human being can get. After the trial, Bart was sentenced to death, a decision his father lobbied against for years.
As he should.
Kent claimed that having his son executed would only make him a victim once again, and that he had suffered enough. In February 2018, just 40 minutes before Bart's scheduled execution by lethal injection, the governor decided to spare his life. As of 2024, Bart is still in prison, where he will remain for the rest of his life. Miraculously, Ken has forgiven his son and went on to remarry and even write a book about his experience called Murder by Family, the incredible true story of a son's treachery and a father's forgiveness. For many people, the most
at some point, man, you gotta forgive people no matter what they do. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but him getting off the hook is crazy. I want to say something, but some people gonna think I'm out of pocket for it. But if you think of what I'm thinking about them overturning that situation, yeah, go ahead. Great minds think alike. I'm not gonna say what I want to say, but that's crazy.
Haunting aspect of this whole case is the fact that in this last picture of the apparently happy family together at dinner, Bart knew very well that if everything went according to plan, his entire family around him would be dead less than half an hour later.
That's cold-blooded. No cap.
Maura Murray was born on May 4th, 1982 in Brockton, Massachusetts, and was the youngest child in a family of 7. She grew up with her siblings in Hanson, a small suburb of Massachusetts. Growing up, she was gifted athletically and academically, competing at a high school level in basketball, running, and multiple other sports.
An
award-winning cross-country runner, Maura graduated at the top of her class at Whitman-Hanson High School, after which she decided to go to West Point and follow in her older sister's footsteps. But 2 years into West Point, she decided to transfer to the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she went into nursing. In 2003, she did something pretty unexpected that stood out as unusual to everyone who knew her. In November of that year, she admitted to using a stolen credit card to order takeout from multiple different restaurants. Although the charges were eventually dropped thanks to her good behavior, the fraud marked the beginning of a series of incidents that completely changed the course of her life. One night, in early February 2004, Maura was working at her campus security job and decided to call her sister Kathleen. After talking about Kathleen's troubled relationship with her fiancé for a while, Maura allegedly broke down in tears at around 10:30 p.m. while still on the job. When her supervisor arrived at her desk, Maura seemed completely zoned out, just completely out of it. When asked what was wrong, she only responded with the words, "my sister." For 13 years, the details of the conversation between Maura and Kathleen remained a mystery, but in 2017, it was finally revealed what had upset Maura so much. On that evening in 2004, Kathleen had been discharged from an alcohol rehab facility, after which her fiancé had taken her to a liquor store where she unfortunately relapsed.
Damn.
On February 7th, 2004, Maura's father went to visit her in Amherst, and after going car shopping and to dinner with one of Maura's friends, Maura dropped him back off at his hotel. That same evening, she borrowed his car to go to a dorm party at her campus, and at 2:30 a.m. on February 8th, she smashed into a guardrail in her father's Toyota on the way back to his hotel.
You ain't gonna care, you gotta be
Even though
inside
she
by that
almost
time.
totaled the car,
Okay.
there are no records of sobriety testing being conducted that evening. She spent the night at the hotel with her dad, and the next morning she went back to Connecticut in a rental car. On Monday, February 9th, Maura used her computer to look for directions to Burlington, Vermont. She texted her boyfriend to tell him she loved him, and on the afternoon of Monday, February 9th, she emailed the nursing school faculty informing them that she would be away from school for a while due to a death in her family.
Boyfriend gotta take it in and take in some action. That what she said right there is a huge red flag. A text, not even a call, like, and not even that, just saying that, it's a huge red flag, bro.
But it was later revealed that nobody had died in her family.
Yeah, like, no cap.
That same afternoon, she texted her boyfriend again, promising him that they would talk later, and made some
Cap, bro. Cap.
phone calls to rent an apartment in Vermont. At around 3:30 p.m., she drove away from her school's campus
Somebody must have been trafficking her or something, man, or I don't know.
in her black Saturn sedan, which she had stuffed with clothes, textbooks,
Why she going places so damn late, like 3, 4, 2 in the morning?
and toiletries. 10 minutes later, she withdrew about $300 from an ATM, which is where this image taken from the ATM security camera was captured. The final image ever taken of Maura Murray. And got back in her car to drive away from Amherst. A little after 4 p.m., she checked her voicemail, and that was the last time she used her phone. Shortly after 7 p.m., a Woodsville, New Hampshire resident called the cops to inform them of a car accident on a sharp turn on the highway near her house.
Damn.
She claimed in the 911 call that she saw a glowing light inside the car, possibly from a cell phone. A few minutes later, a school bus driver drove past the car and saw a young woman walking next to it. She didn't seem to be injured, and when he asked her if she wanted him to call the police, she claimed she had already called AAA, but records show she never made that call. At 7:43 p.m., the bus driver called the cops anyway, and this is where things started to get a little strange.
I feel like she did something, I don't know, bro.
Another Woodsville resident driving home from work claimed she saw a police car parked right in front of Maura's car at about 7:37 p.m. She claimed she didn't see anyone inside the car and continued home. Strangely, this statement contradicts the police department log, which mentions the cops arrived at the scene at about 7:46 p.m. According to the police department, when an officer with the Harborville Police Department arrived at the scene, he didn't see anyone inside. The car had apparently smashed against a tree on the driver's side, causing both airbags to deploy. Upon inspecting the inside of the vehicle, he found stains of red wine all over the car, as well as an empty beer bottle in the back seat. The only things missing from the vehicle were Maura's debit cards, credit cards, and cell phone, which haven't been used since that night in February 2004. Another resident returning home that night claimed he saw a woman matching Maura's description walking quickly down the side of the road, but failed to report it to the police since he didn't know she was a missing person until several weeks later.
Damn.
The next day, a search was launched for Maura, but the cops couldn't find any clues indicating where she could have gone. As the authorities continued searching for her, Maura was labeled as possibly suicidal, and her friends, boyfriend, and family members were interrogated.
That's why I gotta check on your loved ones, bro. You never know. I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy.
Unfortunately, even though Maura had clearly shown an intention to go to Vermont, the case was only handled by Massachusetts state authorities for 10 days after the disappearance, after which the FBI finally stepped in. But by then, it was too late, and Maura had seemingly disappeared into thin air. During the investigation, several theories regarding Maura's disappearance started to emerge. Although the cops initially claimed she had been suicidal, the evidence found...
I ain't gonna lie, but they be showing these pictures, I be getting chills. Like, bro, just flick the picture on for a second, and I be trying not to look at it. Be like, bro, flick the picture on for 1 second and just keep it rolling. Like,
Her car seemed to indicate otherwise, as it seemed unlikely that a person bent on taking her own life would even bother to pack toothpaste and teeth whitener in her vehicle.
What she could have been doing was trying to portray another thing from what she's actually trying to do, you know what I'm saying?
It's also possible that she was so terrified of getting into serious legal trouble if she was found intoxicated at the crash site, especially after her recent credit card fraud charges, that she ran away to Canada by hitchhiking. This would also free her from the drama going on in her personal life back home, but it's pretty much impossible to confirm a theory like this. After the disappearance, Maura's father alleged that she had been abducted by a local kidnapper, while several members of the public started pointing fingers at the bus driver who had failed to stay with Maura until help arrived. Suspiciously, that same bus driver moved to Florida with his wife a few months after the incident.
Ooh, so they think the bus driver might have something to do with it. I don't know.
Still, despite the amount of theories that have surfaced for the past 20 years, authorities
Shorty, she got a black eye? She got her eye patch on? I don't
haven't
know.
made any significant breaks in the case, and will likely never know what happened to Maura Murray.
One thing, hey, God know. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Reynaldo Dagsa was a councilman in Manila, Philippines, who was known for cracking down on local crime, specifically gang activity during his term.
He looked like a gang
On
banger.
New Year's Eve 2010, the 35-year-old councilman asked his family to wake him up before midnight so he could celebrate the new year with them. Shortly before midnight, the family went out on the street to join in on the New Year's celebration with their neighbors by lighting firecrackers and counting down to midnight. At one point in the evening, Reynaldo asked his wife, mother-in-law, and daughter to pose for a picture next to their car. Just as he stepped back to take the picture, a man with a baseball cap approached the family from behind the car. Shockingly, right as he pressed the button...
Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm not gonna count. That is like I ain't gonna count the picture itself. You know what I'm saying? It's a Hall of Fame click of a picture, dog.
To take the picture, the man in the baseball cap pointed a gun at him and opened fire, shooting the councilman in the chest with his .45 caliber revolver before fleeing the scene. Surrounded by the
That man, that ain't gonna count. He had to have got caught.
sound of fireworks, the family didn't hear the gunshot, but
Oh damn.
Reynaldo collapsed on the street with blood flowing out of his chest. As soon as the police arrived,
That's why that gang shit, bro. No, bro. Like you never, bro. They be trying to catch people lacking, man. He got caught lacking, bro.
rushed him to the hospital where he was unfortunately
Man was with his family and got caught lacking.
pronounced dead.
Damn.
However, thanks to the image in question, which was somehow taken just in time to act as perfect evidence, an arrest was made very quickly after the crime. The killer was immediately identified as Michael Gonzalez, and two of his accomplices were also arrested in the days following the murder. According to the victim's mother-in-law, the man in the tank top shown in the image was acting as Michael's lookout and was also
Yeah, I was wondering what this dude back here was doing.
arrested. It was later determined that the crime had probably been carried out as revenge, as Reynaldo had ordered the arrest of Michael and his
That's why like people choose to lose. Choose to live, bro.
accomplices for car theft in 2010. Apparently, the criminals were out on bail that night and decided to exact revenge before being
Ooh,
thrown
when he least expected it. I guarantee that was the last thing he was thinking about, bro, at that time, bro. I guarantee.
back into prison. Unfortunately, nothing will ever be the same for Reynaldo's family.
Damn.
But at the very least, the picture was enough to capture his killers and
That's
bring
like something out of a movie, bro. Like, straight up, bro. You taking a picture and then somebody just boom. Like, you know what I'm
councilman's
saying?
loved ones a sense of closure. And thanks again to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Check them out with the link in the description.
Hey, man. Man, I ain't gonna count. That one was kind of chilling, man. No cap. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that, man. Lifespot, come bro, TK, man. Hey, I'm Mark.